Roxo Media House.
Welcome to the Three Real Brothers podcast. Right. We are back again for another episode. I'm here with oh my goodness.
They did it again,
didn't they? They did it again. Richard's Rainwater is filled to the top. I want to thank our sponsor, Richard's Rainwater, for being filled to the top. It's not like a bag of chips where you open it up and it's halfway gone already. Mm-hmm. It is Richard's Rainwater that's filled to the top. They got so much rainwater, they put it all the way to the top.
That's exciting. Get your money's worth.
That is exciting. Yeah, well, matter of fact, since y'all are drinking, I would like to start drinking myself.
Oh, red cup.
Yes, I got my red cup.
Red cup vibes.
Holla at me, Red Cup Company. Ickies.
There you go.
You don't want to say it. You don't want to say it.
You're not
but
giving nobody free promotion.
Vegas Baby.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Sponsors of the Three Real Brothers podcast.
Man.
And all my sad and happy times.
That's what's up, man.
I'm excited, man. We're back again. We're not going to introduce ourselves.
No, we're not. We're not going to do it this time. We're not going to do it.
Let's go.
But while we're at it, this is Kyle Gardner, your co-host. Coming back to you again, baby.
I am Kris Gardner, your host. I mean, just saying.
Yeah.
And Kenny?
I'm still Kenny. All right.
Might as well.
All right.
Well, we're excited, man. It's been another great week, man. How was your week, Cal? Your week was good?
Solid, man.
Yeah.
Solid,
man. Solid. Good week though, man.
My week was good as well.
Yeah.
My week went well. Did you say week is good or week went well?
My week went well because it's past tense. My week went well. My week was good.
He's even smart without the glasses.
Hey, you know what?
Hey, come on now.
Is that what we're doing right now?
Educate me.
It's actually well because
all right.
You normally got to cross your legs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. You're supposed to be sitting like me.
Really?
Yeah,
why is this about me right now? What are we doing?
Well, because you came with the information at first.
All right, moving on. Moving on. Okay. Moving on. All right. Moving on.
It's okay to be smart.
It's okay. Yeah.
All right.
You know what? It's not the early 1990s anymore. It's okay to be smart. Black people. Like, remember being back in the day, they used to beat you up if you read books.
Is that what it was? Is that what it was?
Scooter had to hide his glasses.
Oh, man. Oh.
What is happening right now?
Well, I'm just saying,
we're talking about, Kenny. Oh,
come on.
Bless your heart. Well, you really went through it.
No, because he knows. Okay, so like back in the early 90s, even Will Smith talked about it. I used to carry my books in a pizza box. Remember on Fresh Prince? He was like, I used to carry my books in a pizza box because people used to beat me up. You know what I'm saying? For reading. Like, that shit was real. Like, people used to actually, like, get embarrassed because they were smart. Like, as a young black person.
Even though today, man, the culture hasn't really changed much.
Yeah.
You're still promoted if you're an idiot.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I agree. I do agree because if you go viral, it's like this. You got to be like weird looking, or something. You know what I mean?
You can't.
I shouldn't say weird looking. Yeah,
you can't apply logic to anything. You know what I mean? It's like the more illogical, just random you are. It's like those are stuff that people like, just gravitate to.
I want that.
You know what I mean?
I want that.
So it's like it really changed. They just figured out how to monetize.
Well, in all fairness on that too, real quick before we get into it, is that like a lot of times though, don't you ever feel like you getting like preached to everywhere you turn? So some people are just looking for entertainment. Like, I don't want to be taught. I don't want to be
It's two ways. It's either I'm really smart without a PhD, or I don't have any arms and I'm trying to do cartwheels. Like that is
that's a hell of an analogy.
But that's social media, though, bro. That is social media, bro. Like,
but I see that's funny because even when I, coming up for me in entertainment I did come up in the 90s. You did had to have some type of form of excellence. You know what I mean? Like a dope female rapper / singer was a Lauryn Hill. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Versus now it's like whoever has a niche and whoever can make some type of thing. Yeah, it's like there you go. You know what I mean? It was like you did come up. Your competition was like Nas, Tupac, Biggie. You know what I mean? And now it's just like whoever's trending or whoever can
the most tattoos on the face.
Yeah, whatever's doing is like that's the thing, man.
Well, I'm kind of glad that you brought that up because that is something that happened this week. Offset.
Man.
Takeoff.
Excuse me. Takeoff. 1/3 of the Migos was killed in Houston. I was actually in Houston when that happened. Dang. I'm glad I'm not famous because I was like, they're not looking for me. But him, on the other hand, like, it just, I was a fan. Okay,
Yeah,
I can say it like that, bro.
We all were.
Take off, and that's why I said Offset, because really just the Migos in general.
Yeah.
Their vibe, the way they came into the game.
Right.
I was a fan.
Yeah.
And to lose such a talent so early,
at 28 years old.
28 years old, and because they're shooting at, it was a shooting at a bowling alley that they were shooting dice at. Okay, so if you have this kind of money, why are you back there shooting dice? Why don't you get a couple of your boys, fly on a private jet to Las Vegas, and then go to Vegas where they have security, they have people who can't walk in there with guns. You got all this thing situated for you to be able to go gamble legally and not have to worry about getting shot after somebody getting mad.
Yeah.
And now we lost one of the world's greatest hip hop artists. And I can honestly say that. Not forever, but right now, one of the world's greatest hip hop artists.
Because it's the culture. And the culture is frustrating to me. You know what I'm saying? It used to be hip hop culture was a representation of something. It was an expression.
True.
And now it's so monetized and so just taken in a different limelight that you can't it's like it's really I'm trying not to go long with it, but it's really so frustrating because of the fact that even if I'm successful and I make it or whatever, I still have to keep my street cred and still go back and still do things, you know what I mean, that I used to do before. You know what I'm saying? And that's frustrating to me. We can't never advance if we always have to keep going back.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, granted, okay.
We take one step forward and we gotta go take 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You know what I'm saying?
On the flip side, though, you were mentioning something too. You were like, "Yo, you got all this money, you got all this. Why don't you do that?" But you got to think about it. A lot of these rappers come from nothing, so they're getting thrown millions.
Yeah, at an early age,
and their
absolutely.
mindset is still back how they grew up. It's hard. You can drop anybody $1 million, and then how many times people blow it all the time. If you don't understand that, if it's not taught, if it's not understood like that, then you can't expect it. Just because if I give somebody who comes from nothing $1 million or $2 million or $5 million, it doesn't matter. That's not going to change who he is as a person or her. Because their mindset is, hey, look, I'm still in this life. So that we now for us, we're like, yo, if I got this kind of money, I'm investing, I'm doing this and that. But a lot of that was taught to us. If you have somebody who's getting from nothing without that foundation, without anything like that, I can't expect you to change just because you get a check.
Okay, so let me say this, and I'm gonna butcher this because it's not the right numbers, but it's the concept that you're gonna get.
Got you.
Somebody said, if I'm the same person at 50 that I was at 25, then I wasted 25 years of my life.
Yeah.
You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
So for you to have that money and have that opportunity to change who you are and your outcome and your circumstances, and you still revert back, like that shows lack of growth more than anything. So I can give you $1 million, but if I give you $1 million, bro, you should be you're gonna be in different stores. You're gonna be hanging out in different places because the places you used to hang out with at $10 a plate, you're not even gonna want that food anymore. You're not gonna eat anything that's less than $100 a plate. And so now that you're in these different situations, shouldn't all of your growth go with that? Like why are you lacking in growth? Like you're buying fancier clothes. I know you weren't buying those clothes when you were broke. So your taste has gone up. Right. So why hasn't everything else grown? Why is it just that?
To your point, and let's be clear, this is not a shot at the Migos for what they were doing, hanging out with friends, but it's just an overall concept that we're referring to. You know what I mean? It's like, you're right. We should have growth from this point to that point. And what is frustrating is that we're not seeing that, what you're just talking about. You know what I mean? If you get $1 million, you still act like you got nothing. And there's a difference between giving back and not changing who I am versus growing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference between keeping my core fundamental or my core foundation of who I am and versus then not growing. That's a complete difference from that. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But is it pressure from, so where's this pressure coming from? Is it pressure from them, like to have to please their neighborhood? Or is it pressure from the outside world to have to live your lyrics? Like why do you think they revert back to that? Why are our rappers getting killed at an alarming rate when nobody else gets killed? R&B artists don't get killed. Country singers don't get killed. Techno DJs don't get killed.
Yeah.
One type of person gets killed in the music industry, and that's rappers. Why is that?
And that's just entertainment alone. And this is something, I lived in LA for years. I mean, it'd be nothing to go to a Starbucks and it's like you see actors from people from TV shows just standing in line with you. You know what I mean? I mean, I tell the story all the time. I mean, there was nothing to be, going to a coffee shop and then Eddie Murphy drives into this one coffee shop in Beverly Hills. It's nothing to see Keanu Reeves on a motorcycle, right here next to this ice cream shop right here. You know what I mean? And right here and in West Hollywood or someplace. But rappers and hip hop artists, you can't go to a Waffle House or a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles because there's some threat on your life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
They can't tag where they are.
Yeah, you
on
can't
Instagram.
tag where
you have to worry
and
about.
that's sickening.
But why is that?
Is it so much of a long history of maybe what's been programmed going way, way back 400 years? Is it that? Is it that?
No, because rap didn't start that long ago.
Right,
rap
but
started,
is it?
Because imagine
rap
when rap
started in what, the
70s?
Yeah.
How did it go from that to shoot a nigga when I see a nigga? You know what I mean?
But it came from.
I don't understand that.
But like there's so Malcolm X used to talk about the division within the mentality of black people, and he used to talk about in his words he called it the house and the field nigga. All right, excuse my language, but that's what he talked about.
No, talk your shit.
Yeah. No, that's his quote, and it was different mentalities and the way you viewed each other because of position. You get what I'm saying? Now, and granted, he was talking about mentality, but just from then, it was always about, okay, if this person's doing great or this person's doing this, there's always been some type of, he's doing this, and so he's trying to lead me, or he's better than me, or whatever. It's never been, okay, he's doing great. Good for him. You know what I'm saying? It's always been, it's like the crab in the bucket situation.
Well, you know
and
what?
that's always been implanted, and it seems like it's been even more instilled now in this hip hop community, man, and it's sickening.
Well, I just don't understand, like, why we keep losing our artists. Okay, so I keep referring back to it. Obviously, it's part of the culture.
Yeah,
it's part of the movement.
And shouldn't be, but
what do you
think?
I mean, it gets glamorized. I mean, that's what the sales is. What you talk about. So if you're a hip hop artist and you're rapping about all this negativity, well, in a way, you have to show up. It's like a persona that they have to put on. They may not even be about that life like that, but if I'm rapping about it and if I'm talking about it, then I somewhat have to have some street credibility to somewhat live it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he may not. I mean, Takeoff. They said he was more the quiet one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he wasn't even shooting.
Yeah, he was a bystander. It was like he was just there. Exactly. It was just like more of almost an accident.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So a lot of them, they have that pressure of you go on. Okay, do I have to uphold this identity? You know what I mean? And live, kind of practice what I preach to have that. Or you go and you just kind of be like, a lot of people gave what's old girl name a lot of heat for it. Iggy, yeah, because she was like, they call him like, what's it?
Culture vulture.
Yeah. Culture vulture. So now you get something along those lines, even though it's a whole different ethnicity and stuff, but it's kind of like the same thing. Like, you're practicing talking about, street life, and then you don't really live it at all too. So now you have to kind of uphold that persona and that image, and that's where your money comes from too. Now
this may be too much pressure on y'all. But I'm still gonna ask.
Okay, go ahead.
How do you fix it?
How do you fix it?
How do you fix it? Okay, because Black Lives Matter. Prove it.
I'm with
How do you fix it?
I'm with you 110%.
You got deep.
And I'm with you 110%. And how do you fix it? It starts from, they say to change a culture, it starts with the mentality of the children coming up. You know what I mean? Because that's the next generation coming up. You know what I mean? So it starts from as us now, as we're at the age to have kids and we're, parents and things like that. It starts from what we teach our kids at home. That's the start. You know what I mean? From the parents out there, it's what you start teaching little Susie and little Tommy day one. You know what I mean? Oh, well,
yeah, thank you.
Little Quan and little Balenciaga. You know what I mean? That's what you teach them then. You know what I'm saying? What you teaching them then now. You know what I mean? It's what you teach them now.
No, for sure.
That you gotta instill that foundation, because that's where you start. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't go out and change the entire world overnight, but we can start from
one kid at a time.
One kid at a time at your house, man, because that matters.
Go ahead.
But also too, but you know what though? Even if you try to do that, I mean, I tell you what, another thing is too, I don't know if it can be fixed. It's gonna sound
a bit
pretty
pessimistic, huh?
Yeah, and I'm usually
You're
optimistic.
glass all the way full.
Yeah, I usually am, but
No
this
room.
one, because you want to know why? Because you have so much access to the internet, you have so much access that it's hard to sit there and stop bubble up culture.
Mm-hmm.
If something is, how do you stop a kid from? You can go watch anything. You have the access. At your phone and stuff
To your point,
And
though,
how do
Kyle.
you-
To your point, Kyle. Yes, I think that it is a cancer, right?
Yeah.
It is a cancer that is among our society, and it seems like it was American culture, and now it seems like it's trickling out. You know what I mean? But it's a cancer, and it's not going to be reverted overnight. It's a step by step process. It starts what you teach the young kids, and then you hope it keeps progressing from there.
But now,
You know what I'm saying?
You know how to fix it?
Yeah, but you know
Go
what? Granted, though, but now it goes to. But sometimes people are tired of being preached to. Do you ever feel that? A lot of times
Are you tired of being preached to now, or do you like to being preached to when you got to go to your funeral and keep burying these young kids?
Well, I'm just telling you.
Which one are you tired of?
I'm just telling you. People get tired because it feels like everywhere you turn, somebody's telling you how you should act, how you should be, what you should believe in.
I don't think you should have to tell somebody not to kill somebody.
That's true too. I agree with that.
Yes.
I agree with that. But I'm just saying, most people when they listen to me, when a lot of times they want to get away from how I should act and behave.
Well, you know what? No,
Well,
actually, people like direction. People like they say they don't like direction. They say they don't like structure. But when they get it, they say I didn't know I needed it.
Yes.
So a lot of people just don't know they need that structure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair.
So, and this is why I say this is how I think a way to fix that. Crime doesn't divert from color.
Facts.
Crime
Yes.
diverts from monetization, from money. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't have it, you got it, I want it. Okay? You posting that you got these chains, you posting I got this money, these private jets. I'm sitting here hungry, you're accessible, I'm gonna go get you because I think you have the money. Crime comes from lack of money, the separation of money. Rich people don't go around robbing people. They don't have to. It's only one person that does that. And it has nothing to do with color.
Well, you got
It's
some
all
scam
about
artists and stuff too.
Well,
though,
yeah,
like,
but
I get
normally
what you're saying, though.
those are people that's just trying to make more money.
Right.
They've
Yeah.
already made money.
So the love of money is the root of all evil.
maybe
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I'm
what
saying.
No, that's facts.
That's what I'm
facts.
saying. So
That's
where
facts.
we're coming from is I think everybody's like, well, stop shooting. But how do we even it up, right? So people that have, and that's unfair to say, well, just because you have to have money, you have to solve all the problems. But there has to be programs, there has to be systems set up to monetize for people, especially young impoverished kids, kids coming out of poverty, right? I've always wanted to start a profit, right? It was called Building Blocks, and I'm working on it
Look
now.
at you.
Yeah, I know.
Don't
come
reveal
on.
too much detail.
Yeah, I'm
Somebody
gonna
gonna
do it.
take
I'm gonna do it
Just
because
keep
I'm
it.
doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm already ahead of the schedule. So by the time they see this, it'll already be done.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do Building Blocks, and what that's gonna be focused on is giving kids in poverty areas certifications in construction. So welders, any kind of construction work, forklift drivers off top. So now you're coming out of high school making $35, $45 an hour. You see what I'm saying? That is the way to kind of fix and help our community. And there needs to be more of those ideas out there to
Yes,
create
absolutely.
wealth and generational wealth because
Absolutely.
we don't have life insurance policies. Like a lot of my friends, and I went to a white school, so I say a lot of my white friends, bro, they had life insurance policies passed down from grandparent to grandparent to grandparent.
Yeah.
Okay, they got out of high school, got out of college, bro, and had a house waiting on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got to struggle to get this apartment. I got two
Right,
roommates.
right.
You
I
know what
gotta
I
go
mean?
to college.
And I'm not saying that's every single
Yeah.
white person that has that. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
I'm saying that it's very, very, very few black people that have that at all.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what has to be changed is how do we create monetization? How do we create more money for the communities? Because crime doesn't derive from any kind of skin color.
Right.
Every single person commits crime. It's about money.
Yeah.
Get people more money, have less crime. That's just how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
an interesting-
my,
that's an interesting
that's
take
my,
on that,
that- I'm
too.
sorry, my soapbox. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll get
that's
back to
okay.
comedy in a
That's
minute.
okay. Yeah, I like that. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
For sure.
So we can go from that to next. So next, Kyrie Irving, right?
Oh,
Speaking
yeah.
of money,
yeah.
Yes.
suspended $500,000, or excuse me, suspended $500,000. fine $500,000, spend it until he completes 5 tasks that allow him to come back to the team.
Yeah, what are those tasks?
I read it somewhere. One of them is he got to talk to Josiah, has to talk to a leader of an anti-Semitism group, has to donate $500,000, has to 2 more.
Yeah,
has to say sorry.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
Basically, okay, so.
And do you know what he posted, by the way? Do you know?
No, please explain.
Go ahead.
Do you guys? So I was looking at because I was trying to figure out exactly what it is. So I did did a little research. So the video that he posted is it came out in 2018. It's a movie, and the film is called Hebrews to Negroes, and it's pretty much talking about Black Hebrew Israelites and how they were the belief that certain people of color, including Black Americans, are the true descendants of the biblical Israelites. So it kind of just pretty much, and I'm just going to put it in a nutshell because it's a lot to get into, but he's talking about how pretty much the Holocaust was a hoax, that actual Black people were the true descendants of that too. So, and he posted this and he endorsed it. Yeah. And he was, and it's a lot of, but you know what happened is that too, it's a lot of it's based off of, they say, conspiracy and stuff too, because that's kind of what Kyrie has kind of always been into, the world's flat. Everything and stuff like that too. So he posted this, and like you said, it was just a lot of very what's the word I'm gonna look for?
I got two parts to this. Number one, I am totally for this part. You have your right to your opinion, your thought, and your expression. All right, but if you realize that what you're saying is offending somebody or offending a large group of people, I think it takes, from human perspective, you got to say, "Hey, my bad, I didn't mean to offend you," or something like that. Okay, for sure. I think that's one route. But we have this notion that we have free speech in America, and we don't really have free speech in America. You're free to say what you want to say,
but you're not free from the consequences.
Consequences, right? But at the same time, it's like, okay, if you say something I don't like, we have a right to shut you down. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it seems like if you just went at Kyrie and said, "Hey, Kyrie, what you said we didn't like," and especially from a team owner, I'm going to suspend you from whatever many games or fine you. I get that. But when you start trickling down the other aspects of those to saying you got to do this, you got to make statements like that, it's almost like you're trying to make an example out of him. And that makes me nervous.
It's modern day. It's modern. What's happening to Kanye and Kyrie is modern day buck breaking. Okay.
Okay.
So what is that exactly for those who don't know?
Okay. So back in the day, slave owners would get the biggest slave that they could find, and they would have sex with him. The man would have sex with the slave, like showing I'm in power over all of you. Okay. So Kanye is a billionaire. Kyrie is a lead NBA player. Okay.
Who speaks his mind a lot.
Who can speak his mind. If I can take down y'all two, who's gonna, because imagine what we're gonna think. What are you gonna say?
Nah,
well, if you would do that to them,
don't say that. Yeah.
Imagine what you would do to me.
Right.
I don't have the power and the money and influence they have. And if y'all can shut them two down, we don't have a chance. So now in 10 years, our minds have been trained and controlled without us even really thinking about it.
And the thing is, and to be clear, we're not necessarily, discussing about what Kyrie Irving thinks about that, or necessarily what he said about the post.
No, but
it's more so about the result of what he said.
No, because you're right. Okay, so and you're right. We do need to clarify that.
Yeah.
We don't condone what Kanye said about all Jewish people. That is not how you speak. We are not with that. With Kyrie posted, what the problem is that they had stuff that was proven not true into that book.
Yes.
That was speaking about Hitler and almost speaking about Hitler in a good light. And I never want to promote anything that puts him in a good light, because he's not. You know what I mean? He was the 1940s version of the devil.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I think we can be all clear on that.
And it was sickening to some.
It's sickening, of course. Yeah. And so, but what you're doing as far as I just posted a link to this book, that's my problem.
Yeah. He's co-signing it.
Yeah, exactly. He posted it. He didn't say, "Hey, go watch this. This is my favorite. Everything in here is true." He posted the link. Well, then don't do a deal with Amazon if you're the NBA. If you really because that's where the book is. Yes. You can go to Amazon, go find that book right now.
And aren't they under little heat too now? They're under little heat.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if the NBA really got, why not go attack Amazon?
Go Amazon. That makes sense.
Amazon, we don't want y'all money because y'all have a book like this on your.
But they don't have any control over it, and Amazon brings in way much more money than Kyrie does.
But that's what I'm getting at.
Yes.
Like it's you see, it's not just this is the problem of what they said. It's who posted what they said. You see what I'm saying? It's a modern day buck breaking. And that's my opinion on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
definitely agree.
going to put a bow on that. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, perfect. I think that was a great piece. We'll start our new segment called Ask the Three Real Brothers Something. And our first guest is Miss Marlena. She has a question. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Marlena, and I have a question for the Three Real Brothers podcast. So I met a guy a couple months ago, and we hit it off really well. We were talking every day, and then things started to get a little weird when he moved to California for grad school. Prior to him leaving, he told me how important grad school was to him and how he really doesn't want to have many distractions. So when he moved a couple weeks after that, he was starting to distance himself. So I guess my question is, does he still like me? Does he really want, does he kind of want a relationship, or is that his way of telling me that things are kind of over while he's in California?
Thank you, Marlena, for your questions. And remember, you can get your questions into the Three Real Brothers podcast at Three Real Brothers on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and TikTok. So, guys, what do you think about what Marlena said? Is it over for her?
Oh, that's so funny the way.
Yes. So no. Yeah. Well, this is guys. Okay, so it's not over because men we don't really leave women forever. Like that's not really our thing. We're not going to be gone. It's kind of their job, and this is my opinion. It's kind of their job to leave us, right? So.
Hence why they file for the most divorces.
That's why they actually file for the divorce. We're not going to do that. So he is distancing
himself too.
I can get it. Trust me.
Come in,
Scooter. He is distancing himself.
Distancing himself.
That ain't right either.
Don't ask me any more questions.
Distancing. I can't. You messing me up. Distancing.
No, but he's doing that because that's kind of our shield that we do. Yo, I want to focus on this or this. I don't want to say he's talking to somebody else. Okay, I don't want to say that. But if you live all the way in Texas and he lives all the way in California, he's probably talking to somebody else. But that doesn't mean he doesn't like you anymore. He is just probably entertaining himself while he's in grad school. But he's keeping you because he says, oh, she's a great girl. I want to keep this girl as close as I can because she's a great girl. When you meet great girls, you don't just throw great girls away. But she's not in California with me. So I need something to entertain myself while I'm out here. And then once I get all this situated, because grad school is only, a year or 2 years?
2 years.
2 years, right? After that, I come back to Texas or I stay in California. And where we are is where we are. But I wouldn't sit there and wait on him. That is my best advice. What do you guys got?
Go ahead, Kyle.
No,
the sensitive one.
Color something.
Me, she asked if it was over.
Is it over?
It's kind of tricky just trying to fill in the pieces and stuff like that too from there. But if I had to answer it straight, is it over? I don't know if it's over because guys, we move a little differently. Now we are putting that distance in between each other and stuff like that, like you said, because he is out in Cali. And to try to do long distance, that's a lot to ask from, it seems like from you guys just met. Doesn't seem like it's been that long. So a lot of guys, when you start talking about distance, that's a whole nother thing. And that's why he probably brought up grad school, because doing long distance, that you have to set specific times of when you're going to talk. It's almost like, because if you're trying to make a long distance relationship work, you have to set time away. Like, I'm going to talk to you from this period of time here. We're going to FaceTime this period of time. We're going to do this. And that's a lot to ask for, especially if he's in grad school. And he's thinking like, look, I don't know if I really want that much work when maybe I could have some company in LA that doesn't require that much time, So I don't think it's over yet. But like you said, I definitely wouldn't wait. And I wouldn't push the issue. If you actually really like them, there's something about guys. You can kind of work guys over, okay? Because we'll say that you give us distance, then you give us distance, and you're like, oh man,
I don't like this.
Yeah, like I don't really like that. You know what I mean? What are you doing? So make sure you do your thing. I'm not saying like be toxic and just post on Instagram like, oh, I'm doing this. He's missing out on all this. But what I'm saying is,
catch flights, not feelings.
Yeah. Exactly. But I'm saying for guys, you never want to put, when a guy tells you that, you never want to push the envelope and push that, because you'll scare us away a lot of times. If we say, hey, give us a space, and you actually really do it, and you're like chilled about it and stuff too, we'll always always keep you in the back of our mind, like, man, she was
She
really,
was
like,
really
man, she was
easy,
dope.
but,
Like,
she cool.
maybe I screwed this up. Let me go back. Let me go back to that. Maybe I had a real one and didn't know it. But anytime a guy start doing that, and then you start feeling like you're pushing, like, and especially if he's getting slow in his text message, I kind of do this. Like, this is my thing. I give the same energy that you give in your replies. If your replies take a week, my replies about to take a week. If your replies take a day, my replies take a day. You on 5 minute, boom, boom. So match his energy and stuff like that. If that's the distance he wants, then you're respecting it because you're just giving the same energy he wants. And how you want to be treated, I give the same people that same energy. So you keep it that way, and then that. But as of now, like you said, my advice, never hold your life on for anybody, and don't push it. Don't push it. He want to be like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, just same thing, man. Y'all hit it right on the nail, because the truth of the matter is, and this is somebody who's had experience with long distance relationships, sometimes things do change. You know what I mean? And not necessarily just because I found somebody, but just because, like, man, if you're out for a reason, I'm working for a reason. So, you know, I can't maybe do things the way I used to, or, you know, I used to be there every day. Well, I can't really do that anymore. So don't take it so much as like, I'm done with you. You know what I mean? But at the same time, just realize that, you know, you can still make time for things you want to make time for. So don't take it so much he's done with you, but don't write him off neither. You know what I mean? Keep going on with your life. Keep focusing on you. You know what I'm saying? Because time, when things are for you and it's right for you, it always circles back.
Yep. Fact.
So all you gotta do is just keep doing you, and keep pursuing your career, and be there for him, and let him be vice versa. And then time will circle back, because after 2 years from grad school, you know the truth. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you're waiting 2 years, but if you keep doing you, because who knows, while he's out there, you may be out here, you may be like, you know what, yo, what's up, James? Yeah, you know, Mark's over there in grad school, so you never know.
That's true.
You
because
never know. You may find the right person for you.
So when I back in my day, right? I can say back in my day, right? Especially, and you're in a situation like acting. Okay, I used to play college football, right? And so I kind of always reference back to, because being a college football player is almost like being an actor that's made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because you get the attention and everything that you want. The girls that I like remember the most and noticed the most were the ones that did not pressure me to do anything.
Yep.
Like, it was the ones that understood, my head is big right now, let it deflate a little bit.
Yeah.
And then once it deflates, you're right there to, you know what I mean, to I don't want to say pick up the scrap, but to
right.
get,
Because then you look back and go, like, man, she was always
she was the real one. Like, I can look at all these other girls who were like only there because you're on TV, you're doing this. But now you look back and you say, she never asked me for anything.
Yeah.
She never pressured me.
She
if I was
supported
sad,
me
if I was
She
supported
supported me
she gave me the support.
everything.
Those are the ones I remember the most.
Yep.
Those are the ones I think get rewarded in the end. But it's all about you saying, oh, I'm not waiting for that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
No ultimatums.
Kind of what
I don't
Scooter
do
was
well
saying.
with ultimatums. No,
bro,
no.
like, do your thing.
Right.
Do your thing. You're an actress. Fuck him. You know what I mean? Fuck him. Do your thing and let him see your growth, because that's what we know.
That's
I
what
see
bring
your
it
growth.
back.
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm like,
damn.
oh, man, she gonna level up like this on me, bro? Like, are you crazy?
She gonna wait a week to reply?
Nah. Oh, so now you acting funny, huh? Now you don't know a nigga, huh?
Before you know it, you in LAX.
Getting
Just
flued
like that.
out.
Yeah.
You gonna get
Like,
flued
hey,
out.
I think we should spend this time together this weekend.
Boss up. That's what we notice. You want to get a man's attention, you don't get his attention, right? You glow up and his attention will be grabbed. There's nothing he can do. He'll see, dang, bro, she doing all this. And I had her, bro. He gonna be showing his homeboys.
Yeah,
I used to mess with her, bro. She fine.
Now you get posted on social media. Now you get a story. Hey, Throwback Thursday.
Hey, you remember these? You remember when I took you to that place? He's texting you all these memories and stuff.
Exactly.
Don't focus on him. Focus on you, sis.
Yep.
Focus on you. Don't worry about him. You glow up, and if he's the right one, he'll come running back.
Yep.
And if you still want him after you done glowed up, that's on you. Okay, so that's my grade.
Yeah, that's it.
Facts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I like that. I think we could put a bow on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet. Make sure you stay tuned in for the next episode. And anytime you have any questions, ladies or fellas, anybody, you can always ask the Three Real Brothers Podcast. Tag us on Instagram, tag us on Facebook, tag us on TikTok. You're more than welcome to come to the studio to ask the question, or you can send it in on your social media and we'll get it and answer it the same way. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Three Real Brothers Podcast. Before we go, piece of advice.
Piece of advice.
Who wants to start?
Go ahead. Chris.
Mine would be whatever you're pursuing, everything. I'm always motivational stuff too. Even relationship. I don't know. I feel like relationship. Anything. My piece of advice would be don't make giving up an option.
What you got?
My advice to you is a question. What are you doing today to make your best better? What are you doing right now to make your limit go higher?
I'm doing the podcast. So mine is this. I had to pull my sleeves up for this.
Yeah, come on now.
I'm really mean to, because obviously I'm into this. Don't keep anybody around you that's not all the way for you. Keep anybody that's halfway in. Don't let nobody dip a toe into your happiness. Okay? If they're not 2 feet in, you don't let them in your pool at all. Keep your happiness your happiness. That is another episode of the Three Real Brothers Podcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you follow the Facebook page at Three Real Brothers Podcast. Make sure you follow Instagram and TikTok at Three Real Brothers. And we will see y'all again next week. I enjoyed it. This was a great pod. And make sure you get those questions sent in. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll see y'all again next time.
We out of here, baby.